Have you ever watched a Formula One race and been completely baffled by how they change 4 tires in the time it takes to sneeze? A blur of motion, a symphony of organized chaos, all over in about 2.5 seconds. It looks like magic, but it's actually a masterclass in human precision, engineering, and relentless practice. Today we're going under the hood, or rather into the pit lane, to uncover the secrets behind one of the most exciting moments in motorsport. How do they do it? And what happens when even a fraction of a second goes wrong? Stick around, because we're about to break down every single microsecond of an F1 pit stop. Before we even get to the pit box, the process begins. The team strategists, who are like the grandmasters of a high-speed chess game, are constantly analyzing data, tire wear, fuel load, track position, and what their rivals are doing. The decision to pit is a calculated gamble. Call it too early and you might lose track position. Call it too late, and your driver's lap times will fall off a cliff as the tires lose grip. Once the call is made, the radio message goes out to the driver. Box, box, box. That's the signal. The driver prepares to enter the pit lane, and simultaneously, a crew of around 20 highly trained mechanics explodes into action, grabbing their equipment and taking their positions with military-like precision. As the car hurtles towards the pit entry at over 300 kilometers per hour, the driver has to perform a heart-stopping maneuver. They need to slam on the brakes to bleed off an incredible amount of speed and hit the pit lane speed limit, usually 80 kilometers per hour, at the exact right moment. There are sensors at the pit entry, and if they're even 1/10 of a kilometer per hour over the limit, it's an instant penalty that could ruin their race. So, the driver has to be perfect. They activate the pit limiter with a button on their steering wheel, which caps the engine's power to keep the car right on that legal speed limit. It's their first test of precision before the car even stops. While the driver is navigating the pit lane, the crew is already in position, forming a human corridor for the car. The driver's next challenge is to hit their marks perfectly. On the ground are specific markers, almost like a parking spot for a multi-million-dollar race car, and they have to stop with centimeter-perfect accuracy. If they overshoot or stop short, the crew has to reposition themselves and all their heavy equipment, costing precious tenths of a second. Imagine trying to parallel park your car perfectly in under 3 seconds with the world watching. That's the pressure they're under. As the car rolls into the box, the first 2 key players are the jack operators. The moment the car stops, the front and rear jack operators simultaneously lift the entire car off the ground. These aren't your average garage jacks. They are custom-built, lightweight, and designed for rapid deployment. The front jack operator has to slide their jack under the car's nose as it's still moving, a high-risk job that requires perfect timing. If they're a fraction too slow, they could damage the car's front wing. Once the car is in the air, 2 more crew members, the stabilizers, hold the car steady from the sides. Their job is to ensure the car doesn't rock or sway while the wheel crew does their work. Now, the main event begins, the tire change. This is where the real magic happens. There are 12 people dedicated solely to changing the tires, 3 for each wheel. Let's break down the roles at a single corner. First, there's the gunman. They wield a high-powered pneumatic wheel gun. This isn't your local mechanic's tool. These guns spin at up to 15,000 RPM and are designed to remove and tighten a single central wheel nut in a flash. Second, there's the mechanic responsible for pulling the old tire off, the off man. Third, there's the on man who has the new tire ready to go and is responsible for slotting it perfectly onto the hub. So the car is lifted and the gunmen immediately engage the wheel nuts. Zeep! The nut is loosened. The off mechanic yanks the old wheel away. Instantly, the on mechanic slides the fresh tire into place. It's a seamless exchange. The gunman then re-engages the gun to tighten the new nut. Zeep! The job is done. This entire process, for 1 wheel, happens in less than 2 seconds. Now, multiply that by 4, all happening at the exact same time. The coordination has to be flawless. Each of the 4 wheel gunners has a button on their gun. Once their wheel is securely fastened, they press it. This sends a signal to the crew chief, who is often called the lollipop man from the old days, though now they use an electronic traffic light system. The system shows 4 green lights, 1 for each wheel. Only when all 4 lights are green, confirming that every wheel is safely attached, does the crew chief look up. They scan the pit lane to make sure it's clear of other cars. This is a critical safety check. Releasing a car into the path of another can cause a catastrophic accident and result in severe penalties. Once the lane is clear, the crew chief presses a final button on their control panel. That button sends 2 signals. The first is to the jack operators, who instantly drop the car back onto the ground. The second is to a light in front of the driver, which turns green. That's the driver's cue to go. They drop the clutch, slam the accelerator, and peel out of the pit box, rejoining the race. From the moment the car stopped to the moment it was released, only about 2.5 seconds have passed. In that time, 20 people performed dozens of synchronized actions with 0 margin for error. It's an incredible ballet of speed and teamwork. But what happens when it goes wrong? A cross-threaded wheel nut, a sticky wheel that won't come off, a wheel gun that jams. Any of these can turn a 2-second stop into a disastrous 10-second-plus nightmare. A slow stop can cost multiple track positions, completely undoing all the hard work the driver has put in for the last hour. Even worse is an unsafe release. If a wheel isn't properly attached and comes off on the track, it's not only a race ender but also incredibly dangerous. Teams are fined heavily for these mistakes, and the pressure on every single crew member is immense. They practice thousands of pit stops over the season, drilling every movement until it becomes pure muscle memory. So the next time you're watching an F1 race and you see a car dive into the pits, don't blink. Don't see it as just a tire change. See it for what it truly is. A breathtaking demonstration of human potential, where 24 individuals work in perfect harmony to shave off milliseconds in the pursuit of victory. It's proof that in Formula One, races aren't just won by the driver on the track. They're won by the unsung heroes in the pit lane. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this breakdown as fascinating as we did, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the world of motorsport. Let us know in the comments what you think is the most impressive part of an F1 pit stop. We'll see you in the next one.